Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, a little bit unique, but I'm kind of blending two passions of mine together. I decided to create a mood tracker in Excel, and I will give a disclaimer, this is not an Excel tutorial, so I probably will be moving through this a little bit quickly, but honestly this is just for fun. So if you find this useful, you can implement this yourself. So without further ado, let's get into building our mood tracker. So first thing I want to do is save this. So I'm going to do save as, and we're going to name this mood tracker demo. So save that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is build where all of the tracking is going to take place. So I have some preferences. The first thing I always do is I come here and I remove these grid lines. It's just a personal preference. I don't like these to show. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the first date of the month. So if it was, if it was November, I would do November, but for this purpose, I'm going to do October. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do equals. We're going to select the cell above and then do +1. Now there are other ways that you can do dates. So you could do dates where you just drag this, down and then it fills in automatically. But I am going to have you do the dates a little bit different, and this is intentional. So we're going to do +1, and then we're going to drag it down until it is the 31st. Okay, great. And then we're going to label this date. We'll format it later on. So the next thing we want to decide is what columns we want to have. So we could do things like mood, energy level, let's do sleep. Let's just clarify the night before. Let's do appetite. Ooh, if I can type. And then maybe a place for notes. So let's do that. So then to make them all kind of fit their appropriate size, you can highlight them, double click there, and then it'll kind of like it drug this one out. I don't like that, so I'm going to drag all of these out a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is here we're going to hit Option Enter. That's going to start a new line, and we're going to be very specific. So this was sleep, so we'll do 5. We'll do 5 best, 1 worst, and then we'll hit Enter. And then sleep, oh sorry, that was sleep. Energy level, we can just keep that at best or worst. Or we can even change this to energy level high and low. Okay, so this one, again, Option Enter. And then we're going to do 5 best, 1 low. And I'm not doing spaces in between just to save space. Same thing, appetite. Appetite high. Oh. Okay. Now the reason we're doing numbers 1 through 5, which it could be numbers, 1 to 10 or whatever have you, but the reason we're doing numbers is so later on when we do graphs, it'll be a lot easier to put the data into a graph. So right now I'm formatting. I'm going to make everything bold. I'm going to center the headers there. I'm going to do some borders around here. And then I'm going to change the colors. Let's do like blue at the top. And then maybe we'll do like a darker blue. I mean, whatever, Okay, and then we're going to drag this notes out. So then what I want to do is I want to make all of these drop downs so that way when we do the charts later on and we add more months, these are all going to be consistent. So what I like to do is come down here to where your sheets are. I'm going to rename the current sheet and we're going to name it October 2025, and then we're going to create a new sheet. This new sheet is going to be what's called our key, and I'm going to make this color black. I normally do like the key or things that need to be hidden. I normally do those in black, and then I do like a different color scheme for the other ones. Okay. So in this key, we're going to have the drop downs that we want for our mood. So let's say, so we're going to do mood options. Let's say we want happy, content, depressed, anxious, what other ones? Irritable, sad, calm, stable. Okay, so let's just start with those. You can always add more. The more you add, the more complex your charts are going to be. So for now, we're just going to do a few, and then we're going to do the color that is associated with it. So let's make happy green, of course, and then let's make content like a yellow. I don't like that yellow. Let's do this yellow. Is that the same yellow? Okay, whatever, we're gonna leave it. Calm and stable. We can do calm as like a yellow. I don't know, I think stable should be like, and yellow isn't even really, let's do like a purple. Like these aren't bad, they're just not, you know, green either. And then let's do depressed, anxious, and sad. Let's make these red. Okay, I'm gonna sort these by color. Ooh. And then we're gonna do sort. And then when it asks, you just want to do the current selection because there's no other data anywhere else to sort. So, okay. Another thing is if you ever wanted to move these around, you could select them and then, you could select them and then like drag them around to reorganize them if you wanted to do that too. But I'm gonna go back. Okay. So we have that, and then we have our colors. I feel like we need another green. Let's do ecstatic. So we're gonna say green, green, purple, red. Okay. And then we can just copy the format, paste the format so it all matches. We're gonna do some borders. Okay, and then I'm gonna get rid of the lines because again, I hate these lines. Okay, so now we have our key. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna highlight all of our mood options, and we're gonna come up here in this little bar, and we're gonna rename it. So what this is gonna do is create what's called a named range. So we're gonna say mood options, and it will not let you put spaces. So we're gonna name it mood options. And this basically allows you to call the named range when you're doing formulas. So if I just did it by itself, it would give me a list. One thing to note is when you're adding new ones, I always like to just insert new columns in the middle versus adding it at the bottom, because then once you add it at the bottom, you got to redo your named range. So I would just insert a row and then reorganize it how you need it to be organized. And then you won't have to redo that named range. Okay, so we have our mood. So now we're going to come here and we're going to select this column. So this is where our drop-down menu is going to be for the mood. So we're going to come here, and I always have to flip through these. Okay, so data validation. And then we're going to, so after we select data validation, we're going to do list. And then we're going to do source is equal to what we did earlier. So mood option. Did I do options or option? I think I did options. Let's see if it works. Okay. Yep. So then you have your drop-down menus, and you can select different ones. One thing I like to do too is if I'm just kind of trying to be quick, you can select option and the down arrow at the same time, and then you can just flip through and do it without even hitting your mouse. Oh, I'm going too fast. Okay, so the rest of these need to be 1 through 5. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do validation, but we're actually going to do a list. This time we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What this is going to do is let us select different numbers. Okay, so I'm going to fill these out really quick. I'm going to try to make them correlated so that way when we put the charts together it makes sense. So give me just one moment. I'm probably going to speed up this part. Okay, so we've done that. Something else I want to do, which this will come into play later, is I'm going to do what's called a helper column. And I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to drag this down. And if, yeah, they're all 3s, then you can select this little box down here and do flash fill. And then it'll do the numbers for you. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to hide this column. I don't want to, actually, let's keep it unhid for right now. Okay. Then we're going to do kind of like a summary. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the key. We're going to grab our mood options, paste them here. And then we're going to do a count and a percentage. And I'm going to do a different border. We're going to make these bold. This is going to be the total row. And then these two, these are all going to be centered. Okay. Then we're going to come up here. We're going to turn this data into a table. So what you're going to do is do data. Nope, just kidding. You'd think I would know all these by now. Okay. We're going to come to insert and we're going to do table. And then we're going to leave it checked to where it says my table has headers. Okay. So change the color of it a little bit. We can go through here and like select a different color. We can change this so we can see that. And I don't know, that's kind of hard to see. So let's go back to table. Let's do, I don't like any of these. Okay, let's do that one. Okay. So then we're going to do a count if function. So we're going to come here, we're going to do equals. We're going to do count ifs. Then we're going to select this entire column. And then we're going to do comma. And then we're going to do if it equals happy. So right then and there, basically what it's doing is it's looking at this column and it's counting how many times we logged happy. What you can do is you can lock cells. Again, this is not a tutorial video, but we're not going to lock any cells. You could lock cell C, but we're not going to do that. Actually, let's just do it to be safe. So we're going to lock C39, and then we are going to drag this all the way down right above the total row. And then actually I'm going to fix these borders. Sorry, I'm kind of weird about formatting. Okay. Oh, I meant to do one more border. Did I do it? Okay, so then we're going to do a sum. So we're going to do sum, and then we're going to drag these down, and we're going to make sure there's 31. 31, perfect. Then we're going to get the percentages. So we're going to do the 3 divided by the 31. This one we're going to lock because we need this cell to stay the same and always divide by 31. So we're going to lock that cell. We're going to drag this down. Oh, drag this down all the way. We're going to come up here, change it to percentage. And then we're just going to copy and paste so it sums them up. Change it to percentage and it should be 100. Yep. And I got to fix the border now. Okay, so we can see that irritable, wow, was the most common at 32%. Next up would be content. So we like that. Yeah, this is all looking great. So the other thing I want to do, so I want to color code these. So basically, I just kind of want to be able to see right here what are the different colors instead of having to go through and see if there's any trends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this column. I'm going to do conditional formatting. I'm going to do new rule. classic, use a formula, and then we're going to do or. So we're going to add a few different options, and that's what the or function does. And then we're going to say or, and we're going to do the first cell in this column that we have. So we've got cell D4. We're only going to lock the column. So we're only going to lock D because we want it to go down for the rest of them. So we're going to say D4 equals, and we're going to do happy in quotations, or D4 equals ecstatic. We're going to close the parentheses and we're going to say, okay, if these equal happy or ecstatic, we want them to be green. So there's the green. Then we're going to come here and manage rules. We're going to duplicate the rule, except this time we're going to edit it. And we're going to say if it equals content, or if D4 equal, need to add some quotes, or if D4 equals calm, or if D4 equals stable. These we're going to do custom, and we're going to do like a purple. Okay, we're going to do the text to be a dark purple and the fill to be like a light purple. Looks great. Okay. So now you can see we've got the purple here. So then the same thing, and you don't really have to highlight these, it's just force of habit. Okay, we're going to duplicate this rule again. We're going to go into it, and we're going to edit it. So we want to say depressed, D4 equals, anxious, D4 equals, we're going to make this one red. Okay, perfect. So you can see for 2 weeks, we were not doing so great. We had a couple calm, stable days. So maybe there's something going on here. Maybe there was some sort of episode here or something. So that's great. Okay, so then what we're going to do, so when you get this to a place where you want it, you get all your mood options, how you want them, you get the formatting, how you want it, everything is exactly how you want it. Then we're going to duplicate. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to do move or copy, create a copy, okay? And then we're going to make this one November of 2025, and watch this. Just update this date right here, 11/1/25, and there you go. Then you can delete if there's an extra one. You can delete that, and you are all good. And then what you can do is just come here, delete. These are going to show as errors, but that's okay. And then you're good. So, okay, so now for the charts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to grab this helper column right here, and then we're going to grab these 3 columns right here. The way I'm doing that is I'm on the Mac, I'm holding Command, it's probably Control on a Dell or whatever, or Windows, and then I selected the other ones. So then I'm going to do Insert, Recommended Charts, and we're going to do this little guy right here. Now you can do other charts, so like you could do like a scatter chart, different things. You could kind of play around with it. But once we do that, we're gonna, I made 2 by accident. We're gonna take this, we're gonna cut. We're gonna create a brand new sheet, and we're gonna rename it to say trends. And you can even do October trends. And what we can do is we can change the color of November to be like a different color, so that way October's trends and October are together, and you can organize them however it makes sense to you. So then we're going to come here and we're going to paste our chart, make it bigger, get rid of these ugly grid lines. All right, Now what I would recommend is, number one, let's get rid of the 6. It automatically does that. So we're going to change it here in the settings. And then this is what I would recommend. So, crap, hold on. Let's go back because, okay, this is the mistake, rookie mistake. This is the mistake I made. So down here it says series 1, 2, and 3. We want the headers of what series 1, 2, and 3 is. So let's just do all of the same data, but with the headers. Oh, why is it not selecting? There we go. Okay, now let's do this again. What? What is happening? Okay, we're just gonna, okay, it's being funky. So let's just, what we're gonna do is select all of these right here. I think it's because it's in a table format. So we're just gonna select all of these. It's gonna look funky at first, but let's just go with it. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut it, paste it, and then we are gonna get rid of some stuff in here. So we're gonna select the chart, right click, select data, and then the horizontal category, we don't want it to be column B through D. We just want it to be column B. So we're gonna select column B. It's gonna say 3 through 34, which is exactly what we want. We're gonna hit OK. So that got rid of, okay, grab the helper. Let's change it. We're just gonna change this to say 4. Okay. There we go. So then we've got our labels down here, which you can kind of play around with the size of this. You can make that smaller, you can make these bigger. We can change the font size if we want to do that. We're going to come back in here and I'm going to get rid of this 6 like what we were doing before. Where is it at? Access options. The max we want is 5 and the units we want is 1.0. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we've got our different energy, sleep, and appetite. And here you can see if there's any trends. Like, you know, does the sleep coincide with the appetite? Does the energy, you know, coincide with something else? So you can kind of see that. But if you want to see them separate, what I would do is copy this 2 more times. So paste, paste. And then let's just get rid of one at a time. And then we're left with sleep on that one. Let's do energy. Or appetite, we'll do appetite. And then we'll select the green, the orange. And then, okay, so then you've got them separate. You can kind of look at them separately. Let's say that you do this and then you're like, no, I kind of want them to be together. You can select this box right here, copy, Command C, and then come over here, Command V, and it'll paste. It does mess around with the colors sometimes, but that's always an option. All right, now the last chart I wanted to add is going to be a pie chart. So that's where this table comes in handy down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, we're just going to select happy through sad. And then we're going to select the counts, and then we're going to do a pie chart. So we're going to cut, paste. Okay, and again, you can kind of play around with the size, like if you want this to be over here, and then you want these to be bigger, you can kind of do that and make the font bigger. And then you can come in here and, you know, let's say you want to color coordinate it, so you want your happy and ecstatic to be different types of greens. Then you could select, this one's happy, so you select this one. And I can't remember. Wait a second. Then you come here. Is this how you do it? Yeah, okay. So you want that one to be blue, and then you find your ecstatic one right here. and then you come here and you do like a different shade of blue. So you can see, okay, these are the blues. Okay, anyways, you get the point. And then you can come in here and rename this. So you can name it as October percentage of moods, or like percentage of mood distribution or something. So, and then you can play around with the format of that too. So that is my mood tracker demo. Who knows if anyone will actually use this, but as you can tell, I absolutely love Excel. It's one of my favorite things. So I figured why not blend two of my passions together. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let me know if it's comforting, or even if you just used it as background noise. I mean, that's good too. So anyways, as always, until next time, bye.